Welcome back, students. So in the previous class we have completed three divisions under kingdom Protista. We have completed Chrysophyta, Phaerophyta and Euglenoids. Now we will continue the remaining divisions under the kingdom Protista. So there are slime molds and protozoans. Protozoans, these are the two divisions which we have left in the previous class. So slime molds. These slime molds are called as saprophytic protist. These slime molds are called as saprophytic protist. You know, saprophytic mode of nutrition means they mainly feeding upon dead and decaying organic matter. Even here, these protists, these slime molds, they mainly depending upon the dead and decaying organic matter, and they will usually move along the decaying twigs, leaves, etc. Whatever the decaying organic material is there, on that they will be moving upon, and they will engulf the organic matter. Whatever the organic matter which is present in the decaying matter, that will be engulfed by these organisms, and the locomotory organ in case of slime molds is pseudopodia. You know, pseudopodia, flagella, cilia are the locomotory organs under kingdom Protista. In case of slime molds, pseudopodia is the locomotory organ. And these slime molds, under suitable conditions, they will form an aggregation called as plasmodium. Aggregation is nothing but, see, the single organisms, they will form a colony. Likewise, here some organisms, they will be aggregated to form a structure called as plasmodium. And this plasmodium, it will grow and it will spread over several feet. It will initially a small aggregation is there. Later, it can able to grow and it will spread over many feet. That is also one of the interesting thing we can know about plasmodium. And this term plasmodium, you will heard somewhere. So there I will explain what is the plasmodium. But in slime molds, plasmodium is the aggregation of these organisms. So only under suitable conditions it will form the aggregation, that is called plasmodium. But under unfavorable conditions, I told you what is a favorable condition, what is unfavorable condition. For example, if an organism, if it is always surviving in water, let us take an example, fish. For fish, water is the favorable condition. If there is no water, it is unfavorable condition. So that is what I am going to say here. Under favorable condition, it will form plasmodium. Under unfavorable condition, this plasmodium, it will form fruiting bodies. Actually, so the aggregation we cannot draw it, but this plasmodium, it produces the fruiting bodies like this, and these fruiting bodies at their tip, they produce spores. Under unfavorable condition, the plasmodium produces fruiting bodies. So these are the fruiting bodies. At their tip, they contain spores. And these spores, they have true walls. These spores have true walls. As they contain true walls, they have extremely resistant. They are highly resistant and they can able to survive for many years even in adverse condition. So whatever the adverse environmental conditions will be there, even such conditions the spores can able to survive because they have true walls. Later the spores will be disposed by the air currents. This fruiting body will rupture to release the spores, and that spores will be carried by the wind currents. That is how the spores gets disposed. So this is about slime molds. Slime molds are saprophytic. That is very important. They are saprophytic protist, and they have pseudopodia as a locomotory organ. They will actually moving along the decaying twigs, leaves by engulfing the organic matter. Under favorable conditions, they will form an aggregation called as plasmodium, and it can grow and spread over several feet. Later, under unfavorable condition, the plasmodium produces fruiting bodies which contain spores at their tip, and these spores have true walls. Because of that, they can able to resistant, or they are highly resistant and can able to survive for many years even in adverse conditions. And best example for slime molds is stemolites. Stemolites or stemolites, it is the example for slime molds. Only this much we can able to study about slime molds, but very important is the protozoans. Yeah, protozoans, these are again unicellular, microscopic, and they are heterotrophic organisms. If they are heterotrophic, they are usually dependent on other organisms, so that the protozoans, they may be predators or parasites. Predators or parasites. If they are predators, one organism is called as a predator, other organism is called as a prey. For example, a cat, which can be considered as a predator, and a rat is considered as a prey. So this predator will capture that prey, and it will kill that prey in order to obtain its nutrition. That is called as predation. And the parasites, so these parasites, they will take food and shelter in the host organism. For example, any one of the parasites that can live inside our body or on our body. So they are called as endoparasites and ectoparasites. If the parasite present within the body, endoparasite. If they are present on the surface of the body, they are called as ectoparasites. So parasitic organisms, they will obtain food and shelter in the host organism. So in this group, protozoans, they may be predators or parasitic, and here most of them contain locomotory organ like cilia, flagellum, and pseudopodia. And these protozoans, they are regarded as the primitive relatives of animals. As they have animal features, they are regarded as the primitive relatives of animals. But here the protozoans are divided into 4 classes. All the 4 classes are very, very important. The first one is amoeboid protozoans. So these are classes. So this is the kingdom, PROTISTA. Now these are division protozoans. Under that, classes: amoeboid protozoans, flagellated protozoans, ciliated protozoans, and lastly sporozoans. So there are 4 classes under the division protozoans. They are amoeboid protozoans, flagellated protozoans, ciliated protozoans, and lastly sporozoans. So this classification will be asked in our examination. So it is very important. Firstly, we discuss amoeboid protozoans. So these amoeboid protozoans also, they are unicellular microscopic organisms. They may be free living. They are present in fresh water, marine water, and even they are present in moist soil. Here, the body of the organism is irregular. If you remember amoeba, you cannot find a definite shape for amoeba. So that I say here, the body of the organisms are usually irregular. And the body is naked. They do not contain a cell wall, that is called as a body. The body is naked, but they have some protoplasmic outgrowth called as pseudopodia. For example, here from this, a locomotory organ that arises, it is called as a pseudopodia. So from the organism, so protoplasm is nothing but cytoplasm plus nucleus together, it is called as a protoplasm. So they have protoplasmic outgrowth, that is called as pseudopodia. And these organisms, they will move with the help of pseudopodia, and they can able to capture their prey with the help of pseudopodia, and this pseudopodia is also called as false feet. So amoeba is the one best example. We can know the body is irregular and their body is naked and having only the protoplasmic outgrowth called as pseudopodia. With the help of pseudopodia, they will move and capture their prey. And some organisms under this group are parasites. If they are parasites, they may cause diseases also. So one parasitic example we can know in this amoeba protozoans is entamoeba. So amoeba and entamoeba both are examples for amoeboid protozoans. They have irregular body shape and they have pseudopodia as a locomotory organ. But here entamoeba is a parasite which causes the diseases that you will study later. And if they are marine forms, if they are present in marine habitat, they have silica shells over their surface. Only I am saying about marine forms. The amoeboid protozoans, if they are marine forms, they have silica shells over their surface. This is about amoeboid protozoans. And next one is flagellated protozoans. These flagellated protozoans, these are also unicellular, microscopic, free living and parasitic. They are usually parasitic organisms. Here the locomotory organ is flagella. Flagella, it is the locomotory organ in case of flagellated protozoans, and as they are parasitic forms, they usually causes disease. One best example I can tell you, a parasitic flagellated protozoan which causes a disease called sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness, it is caused by a protozoan called as trypanosoma. Trypanosoma is a flagellated protozoan which causes a disease called as sleeping sickness. So this is a parasite. It is a flagellated protozoan causes disease sleeping sickness. That is about flagellated protozoans. And next one is ciliated protozoans. So ciliated protozoans, these are usually aquatic and these are actively moving organisms. The ciliated protozoans are actively moving organisms. Why they are actively moving? Because of the presence of thousands of cilia. Let us draw a simple example. So this is an example, a paramecium. So here they have thousands of cilia around the organism. So with the help of thousands of cilia, they can able to move faster than that of the other organisms. So when compared to amoeba or other organisms, the paramecium is usually actively moving because they have thousands of cilia. That is what I am going to say. In case of ciliated protozoans, they are actively moving organisms because of the presence of thousands of cilia. And here they have a cavity. It is called gullet. They have a cavity called as gullet that opens to the outer surface. If this is present in water, so this gullet will opens into the outer surface. Then the actively moving cilia are the coordinated movement of many number of cilia. It helps in pushing the food and water into this gullet. So here it is the gullet. So as the cilia is moving like this, they helps in pushing the food and water into that gullet. That is important. So here the ciliated protozoans, they are usually aquatic and actively moving organisms. They are actively moving because of the thousands of cilia. They have a cavity called as a gullet which opens to the outer surface. Because of the coordinated movement of cilia, they helps in pushing the food and water into this gullet. So that is about ciliated protozoans. And lastly, sporozoans. So sporozoans, these are again microscopic and these are endoparasitic protozoans. Already I told you, endoparasites means the parasite which is present inside the organism by obtaining food and shelter. Yeah, these sporozoans they are endoparasitic organisms and most of them have a infectious spore stage in their life cycle. When you study the life cycle of these sporozoans, they definitely have a infectious spore stage. Infectious spore stage. Best example is Plasmodium. Best example is Plasmodium vivax. So Plasmodium, it is a notorious organism which causes malaria disease in humans. Which causes malaria disease in humans. So when you study the life cycle of this Plasmodium vivax, you will come to know there is a infectious spore stage. So this malaria life cycle or Plasmodium life cycle that you will study in your second PUC in the chapter Human Health and Diseases. For your reference, you can watch Shakespeare classes. So one who is doing Animal Kingdom for you, he have explained the Plasmodium life cycle. There you will come to know what is the infectious spore stage. Now it is not required. If you are really interested, you can watch the class. So that is about sporozoans. Here all the examples are also very important. Let me repeat once again. So protozoans having 4 classes. Here protozoans are usually predators are parasite. They have 4 classes. Amoeboid protozoans, flagellated protozoans, ciliated protozoans and sporozoans. The amoeboid protozoans are unicellular microscopic, present in fresh or marine water, and even they are present in moist soil. The shape is body is usually irregular and is naked, having only protoplasmic outgrowth called pseudopodia. So these organisms can move and capture their prey with the help of this false feet or pseudopodia. Some are parasitic, example entamoeba. And marine forms have silica shells over their surface. So examples for amoeboid protozoans are amoeba, entamoeba. Next, flagellated protozoans. These are usually parasitic forms, and flagella is the locomotory organ. Flagella is the locomotory organ, and they causes a disease called as sleeping sickness caused by trypanosoma. So trypanosoma is the example for flagellated protozoan. You must and should write the examples for all these classes. Should remember flagellated protozoan. Example is trypanosoma. And next, ciliated protozoans. Here they are actively moving with the help of thousands of cilia. There is a cavity called as gullet, and because of the coordinated movement of cilia, it can help to push the food and water into that gullet. And lastly, sporozoans. These are endoparasites, and they do not have any locomotory organ. That is one more thing. Sporozoans, they do not have any locomotory organ. We cannot find cilia, flagella or pseudopodia in this group. They do not contain locomotory organ, and many of them have infectious spore stage. One best example is Plasmodium, which causes a disease called as malaria. So example for sporozoans is Plasmodium. Here try to understand. Here I told you Plasmodium, it is an aggregation of organisms in slime mold, but here Plasmodium, it is the infectious organism or infectious sporozoan which causes a disease called as malaria. So both the names are same, but it is entirely different. You should remember that. So that completes kingdom Protista. Here we have discussed slime molds as well as protozoans. Here very important is this classification along with examples. I will tell you one more time. Examples: amoeboid protozoans, amoeba, entamoeba; flagellated protozoan, trypanosoma; and ciliated protozoan, paramecium, and sporozoans, Plasmodium. So that is about the kingdom Protista. So in the next class we can start up with the new kingdom. Now we will discuss few objective questions related to the class. Yeah, here question number 1. Which of the following is incorrect about Protista? Option A, all are single cell eukaryotes. Option B, some have flagella or cilia. C, sexually reproduce by cell fusion and zygote formation. Option D, members of Protista are primarily terrestrial. Here when you look at all the options, the members of Protista are primarily aquatic, but here they have given terrestrial. So that is wrong. But remaining options are all correct that I have told you. And question number 2, kingdom Protista includes option Option A, chrysophyta. Option B, dinoflagellates. Option C, euglenoids. Option D, all of these. So all are included in the kingdom Protista. Option D is correct. Next, which kingdom of Whitaker are not well defined? Which kingdom of Whitaker are not well defined? Option A, Monera. Option B, Protista. Option C, fungi. Option D, Animalia. Here the answer is Protista. Option B, Protista. The reason is, after five kingdom classification, as I said, it is a well accepted five kingdom classification, but even initially it has a certain chlorella, chlamydomonas, all these organisms belongs to kingdom Plantae, but initially Whitaker included in the kingdom Protista. That's why under five kingdom classification, under Whitaker system of classification, Protista is not well defined because he included some unrelated organisms in that group. Next question, which of the following is correct about chrysophytes? First one, found in fresh and marine water. Option 2, second one, microscopic planktons. Third one, cell wall as embedded with calcium carbonate. And fourth one, most of them are photosynthetic. Here chrysophytes, they are found in fresh and marine water. Microscopic planktons, most of them are photosynthetic. But cell wall is embedded with silica. But here they have given calcium carbonate. That's why only 1, 2 and 4 are correct. So here options they have given. In that options, option C, 1, 2 and 4 is correct. Next 35 question. Chief producers in ocean are option A, euglenoids. Option B, dinoflagellates. Option C, blue-green algae. Option D, chrysophytes. So here diatoms are the chief producers, and diatoms are included in chrysophyta. So option D is correct. So that completes today's class along with multiple choice questions. Remaining questions I will send it in your group.